It's official. This is it. This is the beginning of the end for Fani Willis. Mark it in your calendars, guys, today's date, because we just crossed the Rubicon. All right, so just to catch you up, you guys remember Fani Willis has been fighting all of this in the state court until just about a month ago, right, where the state Supreme Court ruled in.
A judge rules Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis can be subpoenaed by the state Senate. This comes as they continue to investigate possible misconduct during her prosecution of President-elect Donald Trump. Fox 5's Eric Perry is at the live desk on the story. Eric, what is the latest on this development?
Yeah, Christine, this comes just weeks after a state appeals court removed Willis from the Georgia election interference case against President-elect Trump.
And that's when things really started to turn around and gain some momentum. That's when the pendulum started to swing to the other side.
Over at noon, the Georgia Senate has extended the special committee investigating Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. The Senate approved the committee's continuation on Monday.
You see, all of that because she refused to show up back in September 2024 to the Senate's original subpoena, saying, I don't have to answer to you. I am the law. If you guys are tired of politicians that don't practice what they preach, hit that like and subscribe button for me. It helps me fight the algorithm. I appreciate you guys. And in the middle of all this, she's refusing to respond to open records requests from Judicial Watch, Tom Fitton, who is saying, hey, we've seen some things that indicate that you've got some documents that connect you guys to Biden's DOJ with potential collusion.
Decision tied to the Georgia indictment of President-elect Donald Trump. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis must turn over documents to a conservative nonprofit.
Well, the group sued Willis, claiming she ignored their request for her communication with federal investigators. And Doug, what's in these documents?
So we're not sure yet, but we have a pretty good idea of what might be inside of them. That group is called Judicial Watch. They're a conservative nonprofit, and they were asking for all of Willis's communications with federal prosecutors throughout her prosecution of Donald Trump and his allies here in Fulton County. Federal prosecutors were going after Trump for the events on January 6th, while Willis was doing the same here in Fulton County for his actions after the 2020 election. The ruling said Willis, though, ignored those open records requests made through Georgia's Open Records Act, which violates law here in our state. He ordered Willis to turn over everything the group is asking for, including her direct communications with the federal January 6th committee and Jack Smith, the man prosecuting Trump in his D.C. cases.
There have been suggestions by the former and now incoming president that there's been coordination with the Department of Justice, with local prosecutors, including in Fulton County. What would be interesting, if it's there, is some evidence of coordination.
They take her to court. The judge agrees. He says, Fani, are you insane? You got to pay him $21.5K and give him the documents. Well, she paid the $21.5K, but to this day, she still hasn't given him the documents. And while the media is distracting everybody with Nathan Wade, relationship, business relationship, private relationship, really, the only reason why that's important to investigators is because not only does it demonstrate a level of financial fraud that was going on there, also Nathan Wade is connecting her to Biden's DOJ. And see, that is where her and the media effed up big time. Turns out all of her grandstanding, all of her I am the law, I'm above the law, I don't answer to you on the state level, it turns out all of that was a big mistake on her part. All of that commotion caught the attention of the federal Congress House Judiciary Committee. There's a lesson in all of this, y'all. Hear me out. I want you guys to try something like a mental exercise, all right? You ever watch those police brutality videos? I want you to try this out, man. Before you get angry at the next police brutality video you watch, look up the police officer. See if you can find the name, the badge number, look them up. See what happened to him, because I've done this a couple of times, and it turns out the vast majority of the police brutality videos that I've seen are because that footage was actually found on Discovery, entered to court, and the person that's the victim is winning a ton of money, the officer's losing their job and getting punished, and it's not the kind of one-sided situation that it looks like it is in that one moment. Maybe what I'm trying to say is faith and immediate gratification mix like oil and water. water. This is my favorite part about the House expanding its investigation. They said, F you, Fani Willis, we are done with you. House Judiciary Committee seeks testimony and documents from Fulton County District Attorney employees. The House Judiciary Committee, which is led by Ohio Republican Rep. Jim Jordan, says it's expanding its investigation into politically motivated prosecutions, focusing on Fulton County District Attorney's office and its case against President Donald Trump. The best part is now they're forced to admit it. What we know, the committee's interest in Fulton County case stems from District Attorney Fani Willis's coordination with the now defunct January Select Committee in her investigation of Trump. All of that effort to hide their corruption behind some relationship with Nathan Wade. A December 17, 2021 letter from Willis to Representative Benny Thompson, then chairman of the January 6th committee, reportedly requested access to records that could be relevant to her case, including transcripts, electronic communications, and travel records. Members of Willis's team then traveled to Washington, D.C. at the expense of Fulton County taxpayers to meet with January 6th committee members and review non-public documents according to testimony from FDCAO Assistant District Attorney Dexter Bond. In light of Willis's refusal to cooperate, the committee is now seeking documents and testimony from selected staff. They are asking the FCDAO employees to provide all communications with the January 6th committee from July 1st, 2021 to January 3rd, 2023, turn over all records obtained from the January 6th Select Committee that are in their possession. The committee has also asked employees to appear for a transcribed interview and provide the requested materials by February 20th, 2025.
New at 11, the House Judiciary Committee is asking to talk with staffers in Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis's office. The Republican-led committee has been looking into DA Willis's prosecution of President Trump. She's refused to cooperate with their investigation. Now, House Republicans have asked for the voluntary cooperation of at least 5 senior staffers in her office.
And while voluntary sounds all sweet, if they say no, they can get subpoenaed real quick.
The chairman of the Judiciary Committee tells Fox 5 he wants to know if Willis's team coordinated with D.C. Democrats in the Biden era.
I think these people came up to D.C. and met with folks on the January 6th committee. We don't know who they met with in D.C. We know Nathan Wade came up here because he billed for it. He billed the taxpayers of Fulton County for his work, whatever that was, here in D.C.
House Republicans say if these staffers don't cooperate, they could issue subpoenas. So far, DA Willis's office has not responded to our requests for comment.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but they're sitting there at the top of the hill right now, and the momentum is starting to pull them down. And once that momentum starts pulling you down, it's a snowball effect, and they're not going to be able to dig their way out of it, man. Fani Willis is under state investigation. She's now under federal investigation. Multiple ways. She's got whistleblowers coming out of her office. She was both using money fraudulently, and she was both colluding in ways that you can prove through money that can be traced, colluding with the feds and prosecuting Donald Trump for matching charges, man. It's done for her. And I know it's just the beginning, man, but I think this is the moment. When we look back, this will be the moment that we say, yup, this is when the Rubicon was crossed. This is when things started turning south for all these people. And to be honest, man, I'm going to get a little personal here for a second, because this is the type of stuff that restores a person's sense of faith, man. All I've ever known is this rampant corruption in your face, laughing at you. I mean, I've been very aware of it my whole life. I remember being 12 years old, trying to tell people about Condoleezza Rice and the presidential daily briefings a month before the Twin Towers, right? I voted for Ron Paul as soon as I was old enough. I mean, I was the dude stopping at red lights yelling, Ron Paul out the window. You know, my whole life, all I've ever seen is government targeting political dissent, that stay in your lane mentality. And it gets me so emotional to talk about, because I don't come from an upper class environment. My whole life has been impacted by the degradation of our culture and the degradation of this education system. So this is something that's very personal to me, and I get a real sense of relief, a real sense that, man, there's still justice in this world, and we still have the power to actually fix some of these problems that have just been rampantly destroying our culture generation to generation. Hey, thank you so much for joining me, guys. This series has been blowing up and I saw this update, so I wanted to get it out to y'all. I really appreciate you being here. I got something outside of this lawfare coming out later today if I can get the time to pump it out for you guys. Hey, if you like this video, I bet you like any of these three or my music. Check it out, y'all. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.